that you have gathered everything that you need, let's get started on learning about a club deposit. Now I'm going to show you how to fill out a club deposit slip. The first thing you will do is write your club name on the top of the deposit slip. And my club will be called Bits and Boots. Then it says deposit filled out by, and you are going to put your name there. So I will write my name because I'm filling out this slip. Next it says list checks separately. So the first thing you will put the amount of the check number, and the name. So for instance, the first check that I'm going to do is made out for $50. So I'm going to put that amount in front of the dollar sign. Next is the check number, and you will find that in the upper right-hand corner, and this check is 544. So I'm going to write that on the line. The next is the name of the person or company that wrote the check. And the name here is Ella Fant. So I will write that on the line. And I will proceed to do that with the next two checks that I have. $20 is the amount. Check number 1498. And this check was made out by Bertie Smith. And my last check was made out for $6. Check number 112. And it was made out by Jack McDogg. So now we have completed all of our checks and we will move them to the side. Now we need to fill out the amount of cash that we have. And as you can see, we have a $20 bill, a $20 bill, a $5 bill, and a $1 bill. If needed, please use a calculator to help double check your adding. So $1 plus $5 plus $20 plus another $20 equals $46 in cash that we have total. And I will fill that out where it says total cash on my deposit slip. Total cash. We also need to finish adding up all of the amounts of our check, and we are going to put that in the total checks amount. So let's add. Clear out my calculator, and I'm going to add $50 plus $20 plus $6 equals $76 that I'm going to put on the line of total checks. Now we are going to add our checks and cash together to get our grand total. So we had $76 in checks plus $46 in cash equals $122. Next, you need to take this deposit slip to your 4-H club leader and have them sign off on the slip that you have added correctly and entered all of the correct information. So once my club leader has signed off on my club deposit slip that it is correct, the club leader will bring the club deposit slip, all checks and cash to the 4-H office to be deposited in your club account. Your leader turns in the club deposit slip and funds. The 4-H program assistant will give the club leader a copied receipt of the funds that were to be deposited. The leader will then give that to you to keep in your records of your treasury book. Go for it. Now it's your turn to fill out a club deposit slip. Use the club deposit scenario sheet you printed out. It is also shown on this slide. Pause the video and fill out the blank club deposit slip you printed. When you have completed the deposit slip, restart the video to continue. Welcome back. I hope you were able to complete the slip. Don't worry if you had difficulty filling out the slip. You can ask your club leader, parent, or you can always call me in the office for help. Now I'm going to show you how to fill out a check request form. The first thing you will do is fill out your club name. And my example is Bits and Boots is the club name I will use for my club. Next, you will fill out requestor, and that is the person that is filling out the check request form, so that would be your name. And I will fill out my name. Next, we will fill out the amount that is needed. The parent or person that has turned in the receipt to something they purchased for the club to me will tell you the amount and give you the receipt with the total they paid. In this case, it is $42.12. And I will write that in the amount needed. Next, you need to put the date that the money from the receipt will need to be paid to the person that purchased the supplies. So this person will need to be paid by September 15th, 2020. Next, you will fill out what was purchased for the club. In this case, craft supplies from Michaels were purchased for the club meeting. Craft supplies from Michaels were purchased for the September club meeting. Next, we need to put down who the check should be made out to, and that is the person that purchased the club supplies. And in this case, it was Debbie Sound. Next, I need to know if Debbie Sound would like the 4-H office to mail the check to her, or if she will come and pick it up from the 4-H office. And Debbie Sound has told me she would like the check mailed. So I will circle mailed, and I will put her address. Now, the next area below is all for office use only, so you do not need to fill that out. Now, at this time, you will put the check request and the receipt stapled to each other. Now it's your turn to fill out a check request form. Use the check request scenario you printed to fill out the blank check request form. Pause the video to complete this and restart the video when you are finished. This is what your check request should look like. If you have any difficulties filling out the check request, be sure to ask your leader, parent, or myself, the 4-H program assistant, in the office for help. So now we are going to fill out the monthly ledger. What you will need is your monthly ledger from your Florida 4-H Treasurer's Manual, a calculator, a pencil with a good eraser, a copy of your 4-H check request form that you turned in to the 4-H office, and also a copy of the club deposit slip that you turned in to the 4-H office. And at the bottom, you will see that that has been filled out with the date and information from the 4-H program assistant. Be sure to make sure that when you have turned in your 4-H deposit slip, that you have noted what the funds that were collected were for. In this instance, it was for club dues. Now we are going to fill out our monthly ledger. First, we're going to put the month of the first time that we meet, which will be in September. Our first meeting will be on September 1st, 2020. Next, you will need to get the beginning balances that the club will be starting out with. If it is a brand new club, they would have a 0 balance. If it is a club that met last year, you will need to get a balance that was left over from last year, and that will be your new beginning balance for the new 4-H year. This balance can be received from the 4-H program assistant. You will need to notify the 4-H program assistant at least 2 days prior to the time that you need this balance. In this case, our Bits and Boots Club that I filled out a check request form on and deposit slip earlier had a leftover balance from last year of $150 that I received from the 4-H program assistant. The first thing we are going to do is fill out the income that we had for this month. So we will need our deposit slip. This month we only had one deposit, so we will take the grand total of that deposit and fill in for the amount, which was $122. The date that this was received and turned into the 4-H office was 9, which is the month of September, 6/2020. So we will add that date right here. The source, meaning what the money came from and why it was turned in to your club, was, as you can see, we noted that it was club dues, dues from the club. So we are going to write club dues in the source. Next, we are going to add up however many club deposit slips we had and put at the bottom for the total income. This month, we only had one deposit of $122 that we will enter on the total income line. Deposit so far. Next, I am going to log my expenses that the club had for the month. So here is our check request we filled out, and this was on September 15th, 2020. And as you see, I wrote a little bit too big for my date. So I suggest instead of writing the month out, put it in numeric order. For instance, September is the 9th month. Now I'm going to put what the source was for my check request, and that was crafts for a club meeting. And then I am going to add the amount that we have on our check request of $42.12. Next, I will add all of the check requests that I enter for that month down into the total expenses. So we only had one check request this month. Now I am going to take the beginning balance at the beginning of the month, which was $150, and put that on this line. Now we are going to add our income from our deposits, and that amount was $122.00. And we will add this on our calculator, $150 beginning balance plus our deposits of $122 equals $272.00. Now we are going to minus the expenses that we had for the month. So we are going to take the amount of the $272, which was our beginning balance and our income, and we are going to subtract the expenses we had for the month of $42.12. And that gives us a total of $229.86 balance that we have for the end of the month of September. Now it's your turn to fill out a monthly ledger. Use the deposit slip and check request form to complete the blank monthly ledger you printed. Pause the video now and restart it when you are finished. This is what your monthly ledger should look like. If you've had any difficulty filling out the monthly ledger, please get help from your parent, 4-H leader, or you can always call me in the 4-H office and I will help you fill it out as the 4-H program assistant. Now that we have learned how to fill out a deposit slip, check request, and monthly ledger for your club, I would like to show you some other items that you can use to help you do your job as your club treasurer. One of the first things you will need to do is print out this Florida 4-H Treasurer's Manual from our St. Johns County 4-H website, because this manual specifically has forms that only pertain to St. Johns County. Next, another thing that is a wonderful tip for your club and as the treasurer that you need to know is successful 4-H fundraising. And this is a wonderful guide that you can use that we also have on our St. Johns County 4-H website. Things that this guide can let you learn all about when you are fundraising is how to plan a fundraiser, the prices that you should charge for your fundraiser, a presentation that you can put together for your fundraiser, customer interaction, handling the money that you receive from your fundraiser, food safety if you are doing something, for example, like a bake sale, and the forms that you will need to complete your fundraiser. If you have any questions about what you have learned today about being a good treasurer in your 4-H club, please feel free to contact me, your 4-H program assistant, or your club leader or parent for help. Remember, we need at least 2 days prior to when you need your club balance before you fill out your ledger or at any time that you need a club balance before a meeting. Good luck being a treasurer in your club, and please let me know if you have any questions.